Hi everybody, welcome back to Regina's World. Let's get into this video. This is our weekly review of Married at First Sight, season 11 on, I think we're episode 6. So let's get into this video. At the beginning of this video, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel for weekly content and reviews like this one. Alright, so this episode started off and the wedding was over, everybody going back to their hotel room, and how the nights kind of progressed after that, how each couple handled spending the night with each other for the first time. And mostly everybody was pretty comfortable and figured out, their groove, except one couple, and we'll get to them in a moment. So it's not much to talk about, so this should be a quick review, but let's get into each couple. Okay, so the first couple we have is Amelia and Bennett. Again, probably one of my favorite couples right now. I don't see any real red flags or downfall with this couple because this is the quirky couple, the couple that seems like they should have been together years ago. Match made in heaven couple. The thing that came up later on when it was cute and when they was spent the night together, and she had on pajamas, he had on a gown. Cutest thing ever. I said these are the two quirkiest people I've ever met, but they're so cute together. They belong together, in my opinion. The fast forward when they had to sit with the family. There's something new that they've done this year. This never happened before prior to them going on their honeymoon. Now they have to sit with the family and discuss with the family their expectations of the person entering into their family and their marriage and all this stuff, which I think is a good addition to the process, and them getting to know their in-laws prior to, throughout the season they actually began to be able to, engage with the family first. So her family brought up the fact that, what if she takes a residency out of state? Would you follow? It's very hard to answer after only knowing from somebody for 24 to 48 hours. It's very hard to answer, and it's very hard to be put on the spot to have the right answer for that one. So I kind of felt his hesitation in that one, because I wouldn't have known what to say if I was just married and I have to, think about having to uproot my life very quickly because my now bride, now wife, has to take a job out of town, and do I want to do that too? So that's just definitely something that they need to discuss down the line of how they're going to handle that situation when it does come that she does have to leave. But I think if their marriage is strong enough, they can work that out. If he wants to go and visit her, if he wants to stay in Louisiana and let her do her thing and get her residency done, and he going back and forth to visit her while their marriage is, while they're married, I don't see a major problem with that. They just have to be really committed, because long distance is hard on any couple, especially a new couple, a new married couple who's supposed to be together, and they're immediately separated because of her career. But her career is going to pay off in the future as a doctor. That's a sacrifice that you just got to make sometime. My wife's going to be a doctor, okay? So but this episode kind of dragged along. Next week needs to hurry up. But then again, they didn't have any real major issues on her end. The family seemed like they loved her, so can't really say anything about that. At the end, I don't think anything major happened at the end. Yeah, it was not much to talk about in this episode. So let's moving right along. The next couple is Olivia and Brett. Also, they started off again. This couple slept together. She looked like she was more open to having the sex with him that night. I don't think it happened. It might not happen yet. I'm sure it's going to happen on the honeymoon when the honeymoon time comes around. Same with their family. They sat down with the family as well. His family seemed like they loved her. Her family seemed like they loved him. Her family was more like stern and serious and business mind, and but he handled himself well under the pressure that he was under with her family. I think families are more sensitive to the woman, and more, how are you going to take care of my daughter? They have a whole nother, they approach you different when the man versus the woman. So it was more softer with her, more stern with him. Protect my baby girl, since you're her husband now. You better protect her. After that, nothing much more to talk about. Again, this episode kind of dragged along. Did it have to do it? No. Or they could have just combined this with another episode, but keep going. Karen and Miles. Excuse me, I'm eating a piece of roll. Karen and Miles. I really like them. I think she's really beautiful, and I think he's very attractive. They're a very attractive couple together. He is so warm. Like, I love him as a person. Like, he's honorable mention, one of my favorite people on the show right now. I just love him as a person. He's so warm and so loving and so caring and so nurturing. One thing I didn't know because I didn't watch the previous episode was him and Woody as friends. That was like, what? Because Woody is probably my favorite character, number 2 on this show. I just love him. I love his personality. But they're polar opposites, but I love them for different reasons. I love Mr. Miles because he's sweet and soft, and you could tell he'll be a good husband. And Karen, I think she is just as sweet, and I can't wait to see them again on the honeymoon to see how they interact with each other, because they are in the bed. They literally is like this in the bed, and at some point they need to come start them like this. At least start holding hands. At least start cuddling. Start building some kind of physical connection. I don't know, it's only been like 2 days, but start closing the gap a little bit, because if you stay like this, you're going to end up in the friend zone real quick. And it's going to be hard for her to, allow him to enter into the promised land. If she never let him get intimate with her, it's going to be a hard transition for her. So she's going to have to, at some point, she's going to have to let them walls down. And I'm looking at my husband and not just a friend, And then they sat down with their family as well. And as just like the mama said, he won the mama over just like he won me over. She believes he's a good guy, and so do I. And if Karen don't like Miles, she's crazy, because I think he's really good. He's really good for her, and hopefully if she dealt with trash in the past, hopefully he's a really good guy. One thing I did know at the for the next episode, they was having a discussion about his dating past history, and she said that he was a serial dater. Like, he had 10 relationships within a year or something. That is something to be concerned about. If you can't be committed to somebody and then you decide to be married, that's a huge commitment. You know what I mean? So you've never been committed. You've hopped from relationship to relationship, and then you've went from relationship to relationship to being married on a TV show. So that is a red flag. That is something to be concerned about, and I can't wait to see how she addressed this situation. I hope she don't just, let him say that without any asking no questions. Like, what? What do you mean? So I love how she was, and I wanted to know who did your hair, because when she went from the dinner, and she had her hair straight with a little bump, and then when she went going out of town, she braided her hair. I'm like, did you braid your own hair? I had questions. I'm like, you can't do that because I need to know. I need to know who did your hair, who's doing your hair. You know, did you do it? Are you a cosmetologist? Who did your hair? You know, off the topic, you know, I just needed to know these things. You know, so, okay, I'm trying to hide from the glare. But anyway, so their relationship, I think it's on a good start. Both families like both individuals, so that's always a good sign. And I think they're a very attractive couple together. So I have high hopes for Karen and Miles. Next ones. I'm trying not to talk about them yet. Amani and Woody. Again, another couple that I love to death. I love Woody. Woody is 30 years old, and his personality is what catches you. It catches you. He's fun, and you can tell, you know, he makes the fun out of this. You know, he's the life of the party. And Woody is going to turn some stuff up. You know what I mean? You want to party, you want to hang out, you want to have a good time, you call Woody. Woody definitely seems like that kind of person. How that's going to translate into marriage, it may work because, you know, he's not a dull guy. Anytime he's on the screen, you know he lights up the screen. So that could be a good thing in their marriage, in a sense, because if she's the more, you know, serious, anal dictator or whatever, it's cool to have the playful side as well to lighten things up. But she may think he's maybe too immature down the line, and that she needs somebody a little bit more serious, and he may be like, I don't want somebody who's as serious. I need somebody to lighten up and have fun with me. So I can see that can maybe just a slight conflict down the line. But if they can find a nice balance between the two of them, know when to be serious, know when to be playful, I think they can work. Her family loved him. His family loved her. The only thing is when she asked about his temper. That concerned me too, because being somebody who was in domestic violence, and then she probably had an experience with being in an abusive relationship before or something like that triggered her to say she can't deal with somebody having a screaming at her or whatever. Something happened to her in the past that made her feel that way, and now as an adult she just like not having it. So I can see, because she have a strong personality and a strict personality, and you could tell that may cause conflict if he has a really hot temper. And he said it, he admitted it, and he did not play. And then you could tell she have one too, and she don't play either. They can definitely do like this. Two bulls in the room can definitely do like this. She's an alpha female, you can tell, and he's I think he's an alpha, but he's just a playful alpha, you know what I mean? But he's gonna have to stand firm to stand up against Amani because she's strong, you know. But so far I don't have any bad things to say about them, other than I think their personality may clash down the line. But it just depends on how, you know, flexible she is and how okay she is opening up to somebody who's a little bit, you know, who's more excited. Because she could be, I don't feel earth sign vibe from her. I just feel that she's just more stern. I don't know. I feel that he's either a Sagittarius. I feel fire, air sign from him. You know, Gemini. He's something, you know, he's one of those. He's either a fire or air sign. Because like you could spot him from a mile away, you know, so. But yeah, so we'll see what happens with those two. And lastly, this hard to watch couple. Oh God, this hard to watch couple. Christina and I'm trying to keep the glare out of you guys' eyes. Christina and Henry. I'm sorry. I just needed a moment. I just don't get it. I just do not get it. Why on earth would they was put together? Why? That was so hard to watch. And so it was painful to sit through. Every time they got on screen, I didn't even want to watch it because it was so painful to get through. It started off, you know, every couple started off in the hotel room. She's actually sounded like she had high hopes. Like she wanted to know him, get to know him better. She wanted to see, you know, how he is, you know, away from everything. She it looked like she had high hopes. But once she got into the hotel room and realized, there was no chemistry whatsoever. He is just too, I don't know what the matchmakers was thinking when, okay, he's perfect. He don't even talk. It was hard enough watching them in the hotel room. And he's like clueless. He like, I think the night's going well. What? How do you think the night's going well when you don't even say nothing? When she's looking at you, and then you're at the table with her family. The family looks awkward with you. You can't even look them people in the face. You drinking a soda looking down. They like, she likes communication. Yeah, okay, she likes communication. And then chirps, bird chirps, because you don't got nothing to say. Okay, so where we left off at. Alright, so them at the dinner and with the family. One thing that rubbed me the wrong way about Christina, she's a what do you call a flight attendant. So she's well traveled and well versed around the world, and that's wonderful. You know, you've seen a lot of places. You've gone a lot of places. Would you have gone all these places if you wasn't a flight attendant? You know, a part of her became a little like arrogant, maybe that's the word. And I don't even know if she thinks she was coming off that way, but how she was with the family, looking down at him like, you know, he ain't been nowhere. You know, I work, you know, I'm a flight attendant. You do first class. You can't go, you know, you can't go back to something else after you do first class. Like, if you wasn't a flight attendant, could you be able to afford that? Would you be flying first class if you wasn't a flight attendant? Nobody cares if you didn't travel the world. Nobody. You know what I mean? And like, she just came off a little bit arrogant. I don't know if she knew she was coming off that way, but she kind of was, and it was kind of irritating me. Because I'm like, do you got anything else to offer outside of you being a flight attendant? You know, like, what else is there about you that's interesting other than you like to travel? We all like to travel. Some people don't, you know. It's not for everybody. I love to travel. I've never been out the country, though. Am I, you know, you're going to be a snobby person just because you've never been out the country? I've traveled all over the United States, though. You know what I mean? So that's a future goal of mine, to travel out of the country. But, you know, is there really people who looks at you like you ain't never traveled out of the country? Like, ugh. Like, it was just coming out very arrogant to me. But, him though, it's just awful. And then they get to Hawaii, and the next episode, she's trying to get him out of his comfort zone and be more adventurous and do stuff. I'm like, she's going to get through the honeymoon, and she's probably going to divorce as soon as she get back to the States. Because I don't see them moving in together. I don't see it. Like, why would she move in with him? She already know that there's nothing there. She already knows she's not going to give him any. There's no way she's going to give him any. It's not. And in his mind, I think, what did he say last night? If it goes there, it's going to, he's okay with it or something like that. Like, he really think he's going to get some? Like, no, you're not getting any. Like, I don't know, he's just so weird. Like, why even move in with him? Why even do that? Because this marriage is going nowhere. This is a nowhere marriage fast. End it fast. You know what I mean? Annul it really fast, because this is ridiculous. Don't even play yourself. This marriage is going nowhere. It's hard to watch. It's really hard to watch. But anywho, Christina and Henry, I have no words for these two other than that relationship is over before it even starts. And I'm just waiting for them to pull the plug. And she's going to be the one who's going to pull the plug, because there's nothing there. Anywho, that is my review of this week's Married at First Sight. It was nothing really exciting, nothing really major to talk about. Next week it looks like it's going to start picking up steam. They're going to have, exploring Mexico, doing stuff, seeing how they interact with each other. Next week seems like it's going to have something more so we can talk about. They're going to be discussing stuff. Look like little tensions going to be happening next week. So next week seems like something's going to be, worth talking about. I was going to skip it, but I said, no, let me just go ahead and do it and put it out, So again, thank you guys for stopping by. Sorry, I was kind of hungry, so I was eating my piece of rolls. So thank you guys for stopping by and listening to my review of Married at First Sight, season 11, episode 6. I'll see you back same place, same time next week for episode 11. Alright? Like, comment, share, and subscribe to Regina's World, aka Regina's TV. Alright. Peace.